Oh, hey. Hi, this is Heiko. We're in my dusty office. I'm looking at Rode Wireless Go and Rode Wireless Go 2 wireless microphones for my camera setup, and I am shocked how expensive this is. So the older version, the Wireless Go Compact, if you get the version with a receiver and only one transmitter, we're talking about 200 bucks. And then if you want the version that has one receiver and two transmitters, can we find this here somewhere? Too many knockoff versions of it. The Rode Wireless Go 2 dual channel is $278, and if you want a kit that has any kind of accessories, we're easily in the $300. So yeah, I've been looking at those. I'm always really hesitant to, commit to one item. $300 for me, that is a lot of money, so I'm a little hesitant to just jump on it and buy it, even though it would probably make a great addition. Right now we're using a $20 shotgun microphone, which is a Chinese clone of a Rode, what is it called? Someone help me. Rode?
It's called a Rode Video Micro. Come on, man.
Something micro.
1 minute 37 seconds later.
I have a Chinese clone of a Rode Video Micro, and it seems to be working just fine. I always have this dead cat on there, even when I'm indoors. I don't know why, I'm just too lazy to take it off. It functions properly. The sound quality, you guys tell me, seems to be pretty decent. As long as it's pointed at me, it picks it up even over longer distances. So when I'm standing next to my motorcycle or something like that, it works. But I think a wireless microphone setup like the Rode Wireless Go or Go 2 would be a nice addition, and it makes sure that the sound quality is more consistent. So when you're moving around in a shop setting, for example, you're carrying the microphone on yourself, and the distance to your mouth is always the same, so it stays consistent. I didn't want to spend $300 or $200, so I spent $100 and bought this one here, and looks very similar to a Rode Wireless Go, to be honest. They must have, bought one and then reverse engineered it and copied it. It's Maono WM820 wireless microphone system. This one is a one channel only, so there are no two transmitters in here, just one. But it's a pretty complete kit. So this is how it's presented. There we go. Transmitter and receiver. There are also USB charging cables for each. So that's kind of a nice feature, so you don't have to scramble for USB charging cables. It's actually USB-C, which I like. I use for my phone. And then this here is the transmitter. Correction, this is the receiver. It actually has a headphone jack and a microphone jack. So a headphone jack and an output jack, that's what I meant to say. So the output jack is used to hook it up to your DSLR camera, your laptop, whatever recording device you're using. The headphone jack is so that you can monitor the recording at the same time. I've heard that there is a little bit of some latency, so a little bit of some delay, but I think it's just an add-on. There is a power button on the side, and then a plus and minus. That is for the gain. So you can do gain adjustments on the receiver here. And then USB-C port, which is really helpful. I like to standardize stuff, so if I have one item that uses a micro USB, and then the next one uses a mini USB, and then this one uses a USB-C, then you're constantly carrying 5 cables around, and that's kind of annoying. So here's the transmitter, same deal, USB-C. This one here has a power button, a mute button, and a button that's used to link the thing to the transmitter. Then here is a input for a lavalier mic and an actual microphone built into the housing of this little thing. And then the next side doesn't have anything. Here, let me show you the two devices next to each other. Which one is which now? This one here is the receiver, and this is the transmitter. Transmitter, receiver. My goodness. And I have it upside down, I think. It's supposed to be that way. Like an M. Maono. There's a sticker on the back that just says made in China, barcode, and don't throw it away. They both have a little clip on the back. So in case of the transmitter, you just hook it to your shirt like that, and then you walk around with it, and your microphone is a few inches away from your mouth. With the transmitter, you slide this into your hot shoe of your camera, or to your rig, or to whatever else near your laptop, your recording device, and you just snap it on. And it's pretty strong, it stays on there. Now let's continue. Here's a manual in it. I don't have much of expectation that it will teach me anything. I mean, there is explained what the buttons do. Buttons on the transmitter, buttons on the receiver, what the connections are, what the LEDs mean. So there is a battery indicator, no LEDs, 20%, red is below 20%, solid red is charging. Okay, and also a connection light, so you know if your transmitter is connected to the receiver. It uses Wi-Fi, 2.4 gigahertz wireless, so it's not a Bluetooth connection. And let's continue to go through the box here. So here is you get a couple different versions of connectors. So this is a TRS connection, mostly used on cameras. Then here is a connector for a TRRS connector for a phone. So if you want to hook that up to your smartphone or your iPhone or whatever. And then it even comes with a lavalier mic, clip on it, and I think a relatively decent length cord. Let's undo this. Everything has those Velcro straps around it to keep it all in place. There we go. So how long is this? 5 feet. So it's really the middle of the road little lavalier mic. I don't think it's anything special, but you can buy any lavalier mic that has a 3.5 millimeter jack and use that instead. I have a Sony that I use in my motorcycle helmet. I can easily adapt that and use that, so you're not stuck with that. They give you a little windscreen is on this one here, foam screen, but they also give you 2 dead cats for the transmitter. So where the transmitter has the microphone, there are 2 little grooves on the side, and then this dead cat on the back has some plastic bracket, and you just stick that. If I can, you have to line it up. It's kind of hard to see because the cat is in the way. Like, oh yeah, like that. So then it looks like that. which is cool. I mean, it covers the opening of the microphone and keeps the wind away. That's the whole point. Looks a little funny when you're running around with you know, this fluffy hanging off this electronic device, but I guess it does the trick, and they actually give you 2 of those. So I guess if you lose one, I don't know if Maono, sorry, oh, comes with a little carry case. I guess both devices and the necessary accessories will fit in here to carry it around. That's pretty much it. And then here's a little silica gel package in here. So that's it. It doesn't come with a power brick to actually charge anything, so you have to have your own charging brick, but that's okay. I told you about the gain buttons here on the receiver. Very helpful, but it doesn't have an indication, so you don't know at what setting you are. I played around with this already to just see what it does, how it goes. I figured that you push it a few times, so to go to the very lowest setting, and then you count your way up. And I believe, let's see if the manual actually says that. Button, receiver, short press to increase the output volume, lower the output volume. How many steps are there? I don't think it says that here, but you can always play with it. Just remember, you push the minus button a few times to bring it down to the minimum level, and then you just one step at a time go up and check on your recording device what the recording levels are. Wife and kids are out of the house, but there's still 2 dogs, and they are always very excitable. They hear something, you know, and they have to walk around on the laminate flooring. Anywho, so right now you hear me with a shotgun microphone, this Chinesium shotgun microphone for 20 bucks from Amazon. If you care to know, I'll put a link down in the description, affiliate link. And now I'm gonna exchange that for the little fluffy thing here, and then we're gonna see what the sound changes are, if it's any good or not. All right. So now we're using the Maono WM820 wireless microphone system. I have the microphone right here on my jacket. The receiver is mounted on top of my camera and it's plugged in. I just realized the gain buttons, the plus and minus, if you press minus often enough, it actually mutes it as well. It turns it off. So then you know that you're at the lowest setting, and then I just went one step up, so we're literally at the lowest recording level right now. And I didn't change anything else on my camera. I didn't mess with the recording levels in my camera. It's just how it was set up before with a shotgun microphone. Like I said, you have the option to use the, where did it go? The little lavalier microphone, which potentially can improve sound quality even more, because you know the built-in microphone inside the housing of this little transmitter here is probably not the greatest. So this is sound test with the built-in microphone, and now I'm gonna hook this up, put this on my shirt, and then, you know, like a pro, hide this little transmitter. Let's see. Okay. Alright guys, and now we're using the lavalier microphone that came with the package. It's pretty much in the same position that I had the transmitter just now. Transmitter is now out of sight. Some people like it. I wouldn't really care. I would probably just clip the transmitter right on my shirt. Depends on sound quality. So this is the lavalier microphone that came with a package. And now, just to contrast it, I'm going to get another lavalier microphone, a Sony microphone, which is a little bit better quality, and it's a stereo microphone. at least so they claim, and we'll try that out. Okay? 1 second. Alright guys, and now we are using a Sony lavalier microphone, which I usually use in my motorcycle helmet. Has some homemade pop filters on it with zip ties, so pretty ugly, but this is definitely a better quality lavalier microphone. We'll see in cutting and editing at the end if this actually has an impact on the sound quality. So now let's look at the specifications here one more time. So they claim 2.4 gigahertz wireless, omnidirectional, maximum output level is plus 2.2 dBu. What's the range? Does it say 6 hours battery life? Does it say what the range is? No, it doesn't. Let's see if the box says. So built-in antenna, zero latency, monitorable receiver. Is that a word? Monitorable. 50 meters, distance of 50 meters. So 50 meters equals, what, 51 yards. And so about 150 feet. We're going to go outside. It's not windy right now. I'm looking out the window, not windy. I tell you, I step outside, it's going to get windy and noisy. But we're going to go outside on the street, set up the camera, and then take a little distance measuring device and walk 150 feet away from the camera, and let's see if this still works. And I'm not going to use a lavalier microphone for this test. I'm just going to use the transmitter on my shirt. All right, let's do this. All right, guys, now we're outside. I have walked off 150 feet, which equals roughly 50 meters, which is the maximum range of our little transmitter receiver combo, the Maono WM820. I'm going to stop at 50 feet, 100 feet, and 150 feet. We're going to check if it's receiving when I'm facing the camera and when I'm turned away from the camera. And then I just will keep talking and walking and see when it stops. Okay, when it stops receiving. All right, I'll just start walking. All right, guys. So first stop is going to be at 50 feet, which is roughly here. So I hope you guys can still hear me. Now I'm going to turn around, see if it still records while I'm not facing the camera. Wi-Fi is not dependent on line of sight, but it's definitely by obstacles in the way. So my body now becomes an obstacle between the transmitter and the receiver. But I hope it still works. I'm going to keep walking to the 100 feet mark that I created off here. "100 feet away from the camera, and I hope you guys can still hear me properly. So facing the camera, perfect line of sight. Now I'm going to turn around, put my receiver, and I hope it's still working. At 150 feet over here in the distance. I hope you guys can still hear me. So this is still perfect line of sight.
So at this point in the video, I am walking away farther from the camera, facing away towards 65 meters. And that's where I'm going to stop and turn around. And as you can hear, you can't hear me talk anymore because there's no reception.
I don't know if you guys can still hear me. Unfortunately, I cannot see the screen from here to verify.
And so 65, 64, 63, 62, 61, 60 meters, 59, 58, 57, 56, 55, 54, 53, 52, 51, and now we're back at 50 meters. So you should be able to hear me right now. So let's finish up this test here. I'll just walk back to the camera while I'm talking about the nice weather. Blue sky, sunshine, there's snow up on the mountains. It's really beautiful out here. So this concludes the range test of this microphone. Now I'm going to go inside, plug the SD card into my computer and see how the audio quality is, and then I'm going to make the conclusion of this video. Dogs and neighbors walking around. Alrighty guys, just gonna give you a quick little view of the mountains. Heiko's garage, messy garage door is open. And the mountains. It's quite pretty up here. Alrighty, so that's it guys. Hey guys, we're back inside. We just finished the range test of the Maono WM820 wireless microphone, and overall I like it. There are a couple caveats to the performance. So let's talk about this range test. So you saw me walk out to 50 feet, 100 feet, 150 feet, and then I even walked beyond that. And the first 50 feet I think was relatively flawless, good reception with line of sight, or even when I was turned away from the camera. But then as soon as we went beyond 50 feet away, the reception got worse and worse as I was facing away from the camera. So no perfect line of sight between the transmitter and the receiver. But as long as I'm facing the camera, as long as this little transmitter thing can see the receiver, reception was perfect. I walked all the way out to 65 meters, which is beyond the advertised range of this thing. You saw me facing away from the camera. You couldn't hear anything I was saying. I was rambling along about counting down, 51, 52, 53, 54. You didn't hear any of that. We went all the way to 65 meters. But unfortunately, you couldn't hear me. But then I turned around and the reception was just perfect. So I think the range of this thing up to, they actually say on the packaging here, let me see. On the packaging it says up to 50 meters, which is correct. It's actually up to 65 meters, but you have to have line of sight between transmitter and receiver. So overall, I think in my book, that's acceptable. I'm not a commentator of a football game, and I'm standing 150 meters away from the receiver, and they buy fancy equipment. My $99 Maono does 50 feet pretty well in any kind of orientation, and so that's perfect for a shop setting or studio where you are pretty close to the camera. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with that. I have noticed that as long as the little dead cat is on the microphone, at least here in the indoor setting, it sounds a little muffled. So the higher frequencies are kind of cut off. So when you compare the audio testing in the beginning of the video, where I used the shotgun mic and then I switched to the internal microphone with a dead cat on, it's a little on the muffled side. Now I took this off intentionally for the conclusion of the video so you can hear the internal microphone without a dead cat, and I think it sounds actually pretty reasonable for a wireless setup. So now we're using the Maono WM820 wireless microphone system. I have the microphone right here on my jacket. Right now we're using a $20 shotgun microphone. A wired connection is always going to be more reliable, more resistant to interference. For example, this uses 2.4 gigahertz a Wi-Fi frequency.
Right there is my wireless router, so there could potentially be interferences between devices, even though they are not transmitting exactly the same signal, but a wired connection should always be preferred. That's why a shotgun microphone, which is directly plugged into my camera, delivers a flawless audio quality. Of course, experts could say otherwise, but for a $20 shotgun microphone, I think it does a pretty decent job. So then this internal microphone with a dead cat on, a little on the muffled side, but as soon as we walk outside, open air, there are no walls that bounce the sound off. The sound was actually pretty decent, I would say. So I'm pretty pleased with that. For a $99 wireless microphone setup, I'm pretty happy with that. And now that we're inside, no dead cat on, and I'm using the internal microphone, I'm pretty happy with that too. You heard when I was using the lavalier mics, first I was using the one that came with a package. That was, you know, it was okay. It's probably the cheapest lavalier microphone that they could find in China somewhere. And then I used my Sony. I noticed with my Sony and those homemade pop filters on it, it was a little bit on the quiet side. So with this particular one, I could definitely bump up the recording volume a little bit, or the gains on the receiver. But overall, I am pretty pleased. The range was acceptable, 50 feet away from my camera. That's quite a ways away. Doesn't happen in my shop setting, doesn't happen here in my little office. So I'm pretty happy with that. A couple other caveats. So one thing that I really don't like is the fact that the gain or the volume button on the receiver has no indicator. It doesn't show you at what stage you are. But as I mentioned earlier, if you click minus a few times, it actually mutes the receiver completely, so you have no audio recording, and then you can count up the steps. And on camera setups or recording devices, you can usually pull up a audio level, so you can actually adjust it properly, which you should do. And after I figured that out, this is really no problem. It's really not that big of a deal. Battery life, 6 hours. Like I said, this is advertised. I haven't been able to verify that yet. I just took it out of the box. I have never even charged those things. The battery indicator is just a LED. As long as it's off, you are above 20% battery life. When it turns, when it starts blinking red, you're below 20%. So that's about the indication that you need to know, okay, I got to charge that before I keep using it. And then when you plug it into a USB-C connector, or you plug in a USB-C connector, you get a steady red light, then it's charging. Overall, it's very lightweight. It clips onto my clothes really well. The clip that's on there is the same. The size perfectly matched to a hot or cold shoe. For example, on my camera is a camera light, and the camera light has multiple cold shoes on it. And just as a storage location, I take the transmitter off here, my jacket, and clip it onto the light, so it's always with me. It's on the camera already, so I don't forget about it. And overall, audio quality, you know, after tuning it in a little bit, I haven't done that. I haven't touched my audio settings at all. The receiver is set to the first level, the lowest level, and that's how we have been recording all of this with all the lavalier mics, the range tests and everything, and I haven't changed any of the settings. So, and just adding and taking off of the dead cat already made quite a significant impact. So in here, since I'm not talking straight into it, I don't think it needs a pop filter or a dead cat on it, and it makes the recording a little clearer. Outside, different story, and it sounded decent. You guys tell me down in the comments what you think about this product. I will, like I said, leave some affiliate links down below for you. My $20 shotgun mic, which I'm really pleased with, and also this one here, the Maono WM820. That helps out the channel, doesn't cost you anything extra. And if you would please support my channel, give me a thumbs up, maybe share with a friend or two. And if you want to see more content from this channel, Heiko's Garage, please subscribe to the channel. So that concludes the video. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.